And we quickly shift our attention to the big breaking news update coming in. CNN News 18 has accessed the order copy of Karnataka High Court. And I want to quickly talk about the big takeaways, the findings as have been mentioned in the order copy. Number one, the complainants were justified in registering the complaint or seeking approval at the hands of the governor. Number two, the approval under Section 17A of the PC Act is mandatory in the fact situation. Section 17A nowhere requires police officers to seek approval in private complaint registered under Section 200 of CRPC 223 of BNSS against a public servant for offences punishable under the provisions of the Act. Also, the governor in the normal circumstance has to act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers as obtaining under Article 163 of the Constitution of India, but can take independent decision in exceptional circumstances, and the present case is one such exception. I want to go across to Mr. Shivana, who continues to stay on with us, Siddaramaiah's legal counsel, with us on the broadcast as we have the order copy in detail, talking about the several contentions of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in filing that plea against the governor's decision to sanction the prosecution of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, and now the detailed order makes it absolutely clear that all of those contentions raised by Team Siddaramaiah stand dismissed by the Karnataka High Court. I want to go across to my colleague Harish, who continues to stay on with us. The findings make it amply clear the grounds cited by the High Court in dismissing Siddaramaiah's plea. Harish.
Absolutely. In fact, if you look at the order by the High Court here, multiple grounds, multiple arguments of legal counsel of Siddaramaiah, all of them in a way demolished in this order. They are saying that one of the main argument was that there was lack of application of mind by the governor. In this case, in the order, you see the judge making it very clear that there was abundance of application of mind and an elaborate report that was there. He's also talking about the other contention was that the governor was bound by the aid and advice of the cabinet, but here, in a very crucial point, the court says this was an exceptional circumstance and the governor did not have to follow that precedent or follow that rule, and based on the material that was in front of him, the information that was available, he has taken this decision. So that too has been upheld by the Karnataka High Court. A major shot in the arm for the petitioners. What this essentially does is that when they go back to the special court with their private complaint, they will be enabled by two things. One, the governor's prosecution sanction. Second, the observations in this order, because they are demolishing two of the major arguments that was present there, and now to repeat it again before the special court would be futile. And also, you would have the argument coming in from the petitioners that these arguments have already been mentioned before the High Court, and the High Court hasn't upheld those arguments.
Okay, all right. Stay on with us, Harish. I want to quickly go across to Ananya, my colleague, who joins us with more legal perspective to the detailed order that's come in from the Karnataka High Court. You know, not acting on the aid and advice of the cabinet was one contention raised by Team Siddaramaiah, which has been dismissed clearly by the Karnataka High Court. The second was non-application of mind. That's what was said by the legal team of Siddaramaiah, to which, the Karnataka High Court says in as many words, the decision of the governor of alleged hottest haste has not vitiated the order. So that's the kind of stand that Karnataka High Court has taken, which is being contested by the Congress, and they're weighing in on legal options. But what do you make of the overall order that's come in not in favor of the Chief Minister, Ananya?
Well, definitely, it's a significant order that comes in from, in fact, the Karnataka High Court, a very detailed judgment. But I would like to take you through one of the very, very important paragraphs of this particular order, which is, with regards to how investigation in this case is really necessary, since the benefits that have come along in this particular matter is something that were of so large a magnitude that had the petitioner, that is Mr. Siddaramaiah, had not been into power, then such a large benefit could not have flown to him, is what in fact the Karnataka High Court has gone on to say, and necessitating why a deeper investigation is actually necessary in that court, that all the aforesaid allegations in the considered view of this court would require investigation, at least for the reason that if the petitioner was not in the seat of power, the helm of affairs, the benefit with such magnitude could not have flown. In fact, it also goes on to say that it has had to never flown to any common man nor can it or in the future flow to a common man. And it is unheard of that, in fact, for a common man to get these such benefits in such a quick succession, bending the rule from time to time is something that is not possible. So very clearly, the Karnataka High Court going on very, deeper into how investigation into this case is really, really necessary, since there are large benefits that have been, given out to, in fact, the petitioner's family, and in fact, his own wife is somebody who is at, under the scanner.
This is big. You know, the Karnataka High Court saying it is not a case of not even a semblance of application of mind by the governor, but abundance of application of mind. Ananya, many thanks for joining us with all those details. I want to go across to my colleague Avantika joining us with that order copy. Avantika, please take us through the operative portions.
Oh, absolutely, Christine. And like you rightly said, this is a big one coming in from the Karnataka High Court, which has upheld the governor's sanction to prosecute the Chief Minister of Karnataka. I'll just take you through some of the very important findings, just a synopsis of that entire court document, where it says, Christine, that the complainants were justified in registering the complaint or even seeking approval at the hands of the governor. The approval under Section 17A of the PC Act is mandatory in the fact situation. But I think most importantly, you know, this is a very pertinent point, Christine, something that is mentioned in the document, that the governor in the normal circumstance has to act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers as obtaining under Article 163 of the Constitution of India, but can take independent decision in an exceptional circumstance, and the present case is one such exemption. So, you know, the Karnataka High Court also saying that this was an exceptional case. This is a rare case where the governor was legitimately gave that order to prosecute the Karnataka Chief Minister. So, you know, one will just have to see how this pans out for the Chief Minister and for his state government that finds itself in limbo following this big setback.
Many thanks, Avantika, for taking us through some very important points as per the Karnataka High Court judgment. I want to go across to Mr. Shivanna, Siddaramaiah's legal counsel, who continues to stay on with us on the broadcast. Mr. Shivanna, what would you say? You know, the order copy makes it amply clear that the judgment has gone against the Chief Minister. You know, one of the important points in the judgment, no fault can be found in the action of the governor exercising independent discretion to pass the impugned order. And this goes against all of the criticism that's come in from Team Siddaramaiah so far.
No, one aspect is that the governor is bound by the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. Not for a moment are we saying that, you know, he can exercise his discretion under exceptional circumstances. But to say that this is an exceptional circumstances is wrong. I think it is perverse. You know, for the simple reason that he must accord cogent reasons. We have the benefit of Supreme Court judgments such as Nabam Rabia, MP
but isn't
Police
that
Special
the court's
Establishment.
prerogative, Mr.
Yes,
Shivanna?
no, see, no. See, the Supreme Court has rightly held that even if you can differ from the aid and advice, but if you are differing from such aid and advice, you are bound to accord reasons as to why the aid and advice is incorrect. You must establish that there is a manifest irrationality or an arbitrary bias. In this case, he hasn't said anything. The only reason he's given is that the cabinet is appointed on the basis or at the pleasure of the Honorable Chief Minister. Therefore, I'm not going to rely on it. He has not made a mention as to the apparent bias or the manifest arbitrariness of the order.
Did the 2004 Supreme Court precedent in Madhya Pradesh, for instance, talk about the reason why the governor approved these sanctions, sir?
Yes, they have the MP Police Establishment case lays down certain exceptions as to when the governor may differ from the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, and they also impose a burden on him to to substantiate why he is differing. And it is only under those exceptions that can he differ. Now, the High Court, the learned single judge, has taken a view. We are not opposing it. We bow our head down with humility. But, you know, these are contentions that we'll urge, and we have alternate remedy. Now, insofar as the learned single judge saying there is no fault or there is abundance of application of mind, let me make it clear that there is no application of mind in the impugned order.